Hi, Salam Alaikum. Suleiman Rahim here. Welcome. Messenger of the Covenant, Breaker of the Seven Seals. Sisters and brothers, wartime. We are at war. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, we're at war. And your belief and your understanding of that, your life depends on it. Because your enemies don't want you to know you're at war. That's the best state of affairs. For the enemy to be at war with you and you not realize you're at war until they cut your throat. Because that gives them the great advantage. They call that surprise, the element of surprise. And many nations, many armies have fell victim to the element of surprise. And many of you are about to fall victim to the element of surprise. Sister and brother, you're in a womb. A womb that was impregnated by Master Farad Muhammad over 90 years ago. A womb that was supposed to be protected by Elijah Muhammad and his FOI. It was set up to protect as an example and as protection to keep the womb safe and secure from all outside interference. So you could focus on what you're supposed to focus on in the womb, which is preparation for life outside the womb. And nation. Because as I have told you before, we're one nation, brothers and sisters. They don't want you to understand that. They tell you always about individuality. No, we're one nation. It tells you that in the scripture. The scriptures, the Christians call the body of Christ, but they don't explain why they don't understand it, or they sure don't explain it to you. We're one body. Some of us are brain cells, toe cells, feet cells, eye cells, but we're all part of the same body. They don't want you to realize that because that breaks up your unity. Because everyone does whatever everyone does. They don't realize you're part of the same body. That's another tactic to prevent unity. Because if you realize you're part of the same body, you might have a different attitude. All nations are the same way. The European nation, they are one body. The Quran tells you that. They're one nation, they're one body. The Chinese, they're one body. You have different nations, but you look at them as individuals. No, they're a body. They might not understand that, but they are. And we are one body. And we're in the womb. And Elijah Muhammad, he raised up the Levite body. And they're our priest tribe, and their purpose was to set an example of how we're supposed to be preparing for our resurrection, Lazarus, and also protect us in the womb. So you have protective forces in the womb, besides the womb itself, to protect that which is growing in the womb while it's preparing itself, it's growing, right? And preparing itself for life outside the womb. Because it gives it guidance. See, as you grow in the womb, you need guidance. See? You need guidance. That's what prophets and messengers are for. That's in part what the egg is all about. They give you guidance so you know how to construct yourself. Because you can't construct yourself any kind of way. You need to construct yourself for a time and season that you're going to be birthed into. Otherwise, you're birthed out of sync. If you're birthed out of sync, then you will not survive. They used to call that stillborn. If you're born outside, if you're birthed out of sync with the environment, that you're birthed into, you're born stillborn, because you cannot survive because you wasn't prepared for that environment. So we have some verses I want to go over. The Great Transformation. We have some verses I want to go over and share with you. And we see how that goes. But we're in the womb. And there's a battle raging in the womb because the Levites, as opposed to protecting us, they fell victim to the chief demon. It says he would make war with the saints and overcome them. And that's what happened. The lion, no good, dog, legion, that's Louis Eugene Grounds, or as you know him, Farrakhan, deceived them. And brought demons into the womb, which started a demon war. To abort this nation before it was born, to abort it. And that war has been raging for over 40 years. Coming at you mentally, physically, in every way, primarily mentally. Don't think nation, see, disunity. Don't think about the promised land. There's no promised land. This is it. This is the only game in town. So therefore, it determines that affects the way you grow. Because before you was preparing for life outside the womb until you're hereafter to the promised land, now that's not an option. So now you're preparing for life in America, the American dream. And most of you are preparing for the American dream. And you will come out the womb expecting to enjoy the American dream, to participate in the American dream, and you're going to find out that that's dead. See, because the time you exit the womb, that'll be history. It'll be on fire. And you coming into the world expecting to be a part of that, so you're going to be on fire too. Because you wasn't ready. Because it says you're going to be birthed in a time of unprecedented trouble. You're going to be birthed in a time of unprecedented trouble. That means you need to be prepared for that eventuality, for that reality, for that life outside the womb. And that was Suleiman's job, is to teach you, to prepare you, to tell you exactly what to expect. So you be prepared when you come forth from the womb. But it says only 144,000 would take heed. Now let's call on Mr. Silas. Let's call on Mr. Farrakhan. Let's call on all these other preachers and everybody else and ask them, what the hell is going on? See, because they can't prepare you for life outside the womb. Because first of all, they don't even tell you you're in the womb. They cannot explain to you the situation you're in right now. They can't explain to you how you got there, why you're in it, and where it's going. They have no idea about what they can't explain to you what the world's going on in the world now. They cannot explain to you what's going on in the world right now. They don't even talk about it. So they damn well can't tell you what is about to happen because they're blind people. They have no idea. They play at your heartstrings. But they're supposed to be leaders. They should be preparing you for what's going on in the future, but they're not doing that. So therefore, you won't be prepared. So you are coming forth out of the womb, right, to death. Somebody's been waiting for you to scalpel. Whoop. Ask them. Ask them what's going on now. Ask them to explain to you what's going on in the world right now. Ask them where is it going. Ask them to explain to you all the characters of the scriptures. Ask them to explain who that dragon really is, who the serpent really is. Ask them to explain who demons are. Ask them to explain all these things to you. They can't because they don't know. They're all blind people. But they got message to the black man. They got How to Live. They got Fall of America. They got Savior Has Arrived. And all these people that say they have all that stuff, that's all you need. How come they can't tell you what's going on right now? Because if you go there, they're not telling you. They can't tell you. Oh, watch the weather. There's going to be a war. CNN will tell you that. Because if you go there, you know you're blind. You're there because of heart zone, friends, buddies, the relationships, emotionalism. You're not there for light because you're not getting any light there and you know it. Because you have no idea what to expect in the near future. Forget about the far future. You have no idea. You have no idea what's going on right now. You can't put the pieces together right now. So do not tell me that you got message with black man and you all these things, but you have no idea what's going on. They have no idea from the time Elijah Muhammad left up to now, even the things that took place. None of them saw any of those things that has taken place from that point until now. None of them saw any of those things. They definitely see this virus, and they should have saw that was the easy call. 1619 to 2019, 2020 be a virus that would kill the firstborn. That means the elderly. And they didn't see that. They all ran into that brick wall at 2,020 miles per hour. And Farrakhan, he waited 7 months, then he knows all about it. And these people you putting your trust in, because you will pay a price for putting your trust in these people. So you think you have this crazy idea about all this mystique and superstition and stuff like that? No, you reap what you sow. And the thing is that where you're going in life depends on how you apply your energy. And you apply your energy, you misapply your energy. So now, and you're going down to a dead end, and you're gonna find you was applying your energy, and you was going down the wrong road. You're gonna find yourself going down the red dead end in a minute. You know that's where you're going, but you're not gonna realize it until the second minute. Then it's too late. You're not gonna be able to turn around. You're gonna be stuck. Let's go into some verses here and see if that will help you enlighten some of you. The battle of the womb. The twinkle of an eye. These verses, they don't talk very much about. Most of them don't talk about it all. The twinkle of an eye. Hold on for a minute, brothers and sisters. We have a little situation here. Well, maybe it's okay. Now I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. It's talking about devils and demons. Neither does corruption inherit incorruption. Hold on, brothers and sisters. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to continue. We have a little technical difficulty there. We're going to talk about things that's surrounding the birth of a nation. So we got a few topics I want to talk about, a few verses you may be aware of. Let's talk about this twinkle of an eye. See, we shall not, it says a mystery, behold, I will show you a mystery. We shall not sleep, but we shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkle of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and death shall be raised incorruptibly, and we shall be changed. So that's the resurrection. But it says in that process, we're going to be changed. Changed to what? See? Changed to what? Let's look a little further down here. So when this corruptible shall shall have put on incorruption. That means this body we have right now is corruptible because it's been affected by living in this environment. See, we live here. And that's why Master Muhammad had to get out of here. Because you stay here long enough, it's going to affect your body because we've been living in this situation. You get these holy ones from, they're so holy, right? Hey, you cannot be holy here in America if you understand what holy, your basic understand holy is. You can't be pork free. You may not eat pork, but you'd be surprised the pork that's involved in everything else you do. If you eat out, what you think they're using to cook with? If you got a wallet, look at it carefully. Maybe made out of pork skin. All your medications are byproducts of pork. They use pork in just about everything. It's like atmosphere. So we all corrupt because we're in a cesspool here. All of us, including me, we all. So it says, see, that we have put on incorruption. This mortal shall have put on, okay, well, this corruptible must put on incorruption. We must have a new body. Doesn't mean we're going to die and attach a spirit body, anything like that. It just means there's going to be a regeneration. We're going to get a burst of energy that's going to cause healing. It's going to make us think we're new people, you're going to, because it tells us, right, that you're going to be in this first stage, because we're due, every 50 years, we're due for a great energy burst. And now this is with time for one now. The last one was back in the 60s and 50s, you go all the way back, right? So we're due for one now, which is going to break all our physical chains. We're going to restore us back to the promised land, and it's going to renew us. And the next 50 years from now, renew us even more. So many of us, it'll be such a burst of energy that's going to take us back to be like 16 years old again. Some of us a little older like me, it may be the next 50 years before you get enough energy to bring you back that far. Because we're told in the Quran, we're going to be like new creatures. You see? Youthful all our lives, as long as we live. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality, because we live a mortal life now. And you've been told, even by Elijah Muhammad, that this is it. Because he was going from his understanding. See? He didn't break the 7 seals. He didn't understand the angel. He went from Escalades and what it tells you. But that's talking to the devils. And so, because your mind has to change, because that's what's going to change here, your mind is changing. Because of the angel. So, when this corruptible shall put on incorruption, and this mortal shall put on immortality. Now, how does that happen? And then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? See, we read the rest. Sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. That gets a little more complicated. But that gets back to the Quran where it talks about when Abraham says, how do you give life after death? And he's told a parable about take 4 birds, teach them to climb to you, spread them on several mountains, and call them to come you flying. Because I said we're one body. And we're mortal beings. It tells you that in Hebrews. But you don't understand that. And once we come together as one body, those that make us, because we left as angels, we return as gods, you'll understand that. Because we're immortal beings. No, we don't live this one body and this body forever. No, it doesn't happen like that. That's why it says, oh, death says, oh, death swallowed up in victory. Oh, death, where's that? Where's that sting? Oh, grave, where's that victory? What does that mean? Oh, death, where's that sting? That means, because right now, when they die, they think that's it. But that shows you the contradiction, because they say going to heaven. So, I mean, it shouldn't be no sting, right? Because if you die, I mean, if that's the doorway to heaven, you should just be cutting your throat right now. I mean, why would you want to stay in all this here when you can just cut your throat and that's the doorway to heaven? But see, that's another story. Because I said there's no logic in none of these religions, none. No mathematics, no logic, no reason. Let's see. The sting of death is, oh man, when I die, it's it. It's all over. That's the sting. They don't want to die. That's the sting. But it says, oh, grave, where's thy victory? Because they put you in the grave. That's it. The victory, the grave got you. That's all over. And they say, oh, that won't be anymore. It says, oh, grave. Say, oh, death, where's that sting? You don't have no sting anymore. Because death will be like going to sleep. Because we're all part of the same body. And what happens? Every 7 years, your body renews itself. Every 7 years, your cells renew themselves. So the cells you have right now are not the same cells you had 7 years ago. They renew themselves, but they're still part of you. They're alive. And that's the same thing. We'll live as long as we want to live in good health. And at some point in time, right, we'll renew ourselves. It's like going to sleep. Because we don't want to remain the same. Because time moves on. And people move on. 10,000 years from now, people may be 20 feet tall. Will you want to be running around here 7 feet, 6 feet tall? And everybody's 20 feet tall? No, right? You're taking renewal. You see? Trade in. Upgrade. And so grave is not in victory because you're not there. So your body is a cell, and your cell, when it's gone, when your body, a cell dies in your body, it's just replaced with an identical cell. Only difference is the cell's upgraded to deal with the environment the new environment that it finds itself in. In every respect, it's exactly the same as the cell that it replaced, except for that. And that's the same what will be with you. That's what it's talking about here. So we're going to move on, brothers and sisters. See, so all this change, because first of all, it's mostly a mental change. The way you look at things, because you've been told the way religion, everything, the way you've been told to look at things is totally wrong, messed up. Because you're immortal beings. See? Only one only one that can close that door on you is the Lamb. That's why it says you have the Lamb books of life, because he can close that door where you don't ever come back into existence again. Because he's going to do it to devils and demons. They're never coming back again. He closed that door. But if that door stays open, you continue to come back forever and ever and ever and ever. Born, you come through the womb again, just like you did the first time, but you come upgraded. Transformed again. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now we are the sons of God. I said we return as gods. See, Suleiman has the power to turn you to gods. That's what the angel's all about. See, because Dr. Shabbat starts the process, you were angels. Let's make man in our likeness, our image, and give power of everything. Because we were angels now being trained. They're not talking about devils. They're not talking about Adam and Eve. They're talking about us. You got to read Genesis carefully. And we, sons of God, and it does not yet appear that we shall be. See, in other words, they don't know what they're going to be. They know they're going to be something different. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, but we shall see it as he is. In other words, they're talking about either Master Fard and Suleiman, because Suleiman is going to he's going to be the first to transform. Because he's way ahead of everyone else. And he says, you'll be like him. He's transforming. You're going to be transformed like him. But because you don't know, it says, because right now you don't know. Because if you knew, that means, you look in the mirror, you see how you're going to be. It says, and it does not yet appear what we shall be. Because you can't see. Hold on. Hold on a second. Got a little problem here. Oh, interesting day. He said we're not, the way we are right now, it's not the way we're going to be. But it says, we do not know what we shall be. It doth not, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. So in other words, what we appear is not how we're going to be. See? But when he shall appear, that's when Suleiman is manifest to the whole world. Because he said he'd be teaching, but at a certain point, right, at the time of the resurrection, that's when he's going to be manifest to the entire world. Think about that one, brothers and sisters. See? We're talking about the birth of a nation, but we're talking about, it says it's going to make all things new. And these things no one's telling you. First of all, they have to teach you about the birth of a nation. They have to teach you about Abrahamic covenant. So because they can't tell you about those things, they can't tell you about these things. They can't make any stuff make sense. They talk about these things, so now they tell you it's a kind of spiritual world. No, it's you, brothers and sisters. There's going to be a transformation like you can't believe, because you're going to get such a burst of energy, right? That's going to cause your body to take and regenerate. And you're going to seem to be like a new person. And your mind is going to be different. So you can see things differently than this religion, because religion is telling you lies. It's all mixed up, and you believe this stuff, and none of it makes any sense. So all that stuff will be washed away. See here? No eye has seen, no ear has heard, nor the heart of man imagined what God has prepared for those who love him. So that means you can't even imagine it. You can't even imagine it. In your mind or in your heart, or in your eyes, you can't imagine it. The transformation beyond this world. But you don't hear this being talked about anyplace else, because they don't know it. And they teach you religion. They claim they teach you the Bible, but they don't talk this stuff because it doesn't make any sense to them. If they talk it, they have to talk about some spiritual thing like we're dying and we're going to transform to angels and have wings, all this kind of stuff. No, there's going to be a dramatic transformation, like it says in Malachi. The Son of Righteousness will rise with a healing in his wings. Because we're all messed up here. We're all corrupt here. Our bodies are all messed up. We're not suffering from old age. None of us ever die from old age over here. We die from weakness, energy deprivation, not old age, but wilting. You know what wilting is? You take a plant and you don't give it proper nourishment and sunlight, it's going to wilt. It's going to look old like it's dying. But as soon as it gets energy, as soon as it gets sunlight and water and nourishment, it comes back to life strong, young again. So was it dying from old age or from wilting? We're dying from wilting, not old age, brothers and sisters. Because 60, 70 years, that's still a baby in our normal terms. We're dying from wilting, primarily from energy deprivation, and at this point, mostly from self-imposed energy deprivation, because we're not using our energy to develop our health, to maintain our health, how to live and things like that. We're not using that energy for that. You abuse that energy, taking out, because all of us have the same amount of energy. You can't just manufacture energy. You just can't create it. We all have the same amount of energy. But how are you using energy? Running after Kanye, watching these series, hanging out, smoking dope, vaporing, and all this kind of stuff. Is that how you're using your energy? Therefore, that's what you're getting. So your body is being deprived, energy deprivation. So now your body is wilting, and you can't understand why. I got high blood pressure, low blood pressure, right? Hypertension, diabetes, all these different things. Why? Because of misuse of energy. You should have used your energy to maintain, to support, build, and strengthen your health, but you was using it for all our party and everything else. And so now you got the result. You got to understand, brothers and sisters, you are in control of this affair. There's no mystery God doing it. You have so much energy. At this time in our history, we just have enough energy to maintain ourselves, and we have enough energy to bring our nation together. That's all energy we have. We came out of energy deprivation right around 1948. So now we have enough energy for that. Before, we didn't have enough energy for that. Now, 50 years from now, we have more energy for even more things. And in 50 years, we get more and more energy. Energy will increase. But right now in time, see, in the 60s, we didn't have enough energy for that. We just had enough energy to break our social bounds. But now we have enough energy to break Master's total control, because he still has control of us. We have enough energy to break his control, to be independent. That's the birth of a nation. We have enough energy for a nation to be birthed, and they're doing everything to make sure that doesn't happen, because we have energy to do it, but it won't be done unless we apply our energy to that purpose. It will not be done unless we apply our energy, that purpose, and they have you apply your energy to everything under the sun other than self-development, preparation for life outside the womb, for nation building, everything but that. And that's what that's what Louis Farrakhan was supposed to do. Read it. That's what FBI wanted him to do. To divert your energy to something else, social development, anything else. Forget about nation building. You see, forget about all that. Forget about separation. Because what they want you to do is continue to be a slave, continue to build Master's vision. Forget about your vision, continue to build Master's vision, because they have a plan in mind on that also. A nation born in a day. Before she travailed, she brought forth, before pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? So the earth represents European countries, particularly America. See? Or shall a nation be born at once? Shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. See? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. That's the resurrection that's about to take place when Master Muhammad pulls the plug on false Israel. Shall I bring to birth and not cause to bring forth? Remember I told you it's Master Muhammad who came and impregnated this nation. He impregnated, says, what it says here, shall I bring to birth? See, he brought the birth. He started the womb process. Shall I bring to birth and not cause to bring forth? So if he started impregnating, then he's not going to bring forth the nation? Says the Lord, shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb? See, he's talking about the womb. Is he going? He impregnated the womb. Now he's going to shut it so we don't come forth. I told you, Master Muhammad came. He started that process. He came and impregnated the nation, and the side part of that process was, remember, he's also David. And David and we represent Bathsheba, so he came impregnated to produce his son Suleiman. And Suleiman would be the one, right? He'd be the high priest that would take us back home. That was part of the fair. That's what's telling you here. He says he's the one that impregnated the nation. I talked about that, but here's the verse that proves it, right? And not shall I bring to birth, see, and not cause to bring forth, says the Lord. Shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb? See? So we're in the womb now. Elijah Muhammad, he was set, him and his Levite army, the NOI, right, was supposed to protect us in the womb. Because we know we'd be in the womb and hostile. The womb would be in like a woman, she's pregnant, but she's in a hostile environment with a pregnancy, and that could affect the child. If she's in a hostile environment, right, while she's pregnant in the womb, that's going to affect the child, all that hostility and everything, because that affects her emotions, everything else. So that's what the Nation of Islam was supposed to protect the womb from all of that, and they failed. See? That's why our people are being lost for lack of knowledge. All these different things are happening because they failed in what they were supposed to do. They were set to do that and they didn't do it. They're a priest tribe, and that's what they're supposed to do, but they let Farrakhan deceive them. He let demons into the womb. So now we have a demon war. We have a war, a womb war. See? So I'll just say that on here. When nation be born, they say we're born in a day. So it'll be fast, because remember, once Master Muhammad pull the plug, all it's going to happen suddenly. That's what caused the resurrection, people fleeing and all that kind of stuff. That's when the nation will be born. It's going to be born in one day, literally, not a year, one day. We talked about this. The battle in the womb. God, do not remain quiet. Do not remain silent. See? So it talks about their plans. See? Your enemies make an uproar, and those who hate you have exalted themselves. They make shrewd plans against your people and conspire together against your treasured ones. That's the elect. 144,000. They have said, come, let us wipe them out as a nation, destroy us before we even born. Abort us. So the name of Israel will no longer be remembered. But they have conspired together with mind. That means they're all thinking together. They're on the same page. But they make a covenant against you. That means they're all working together. And they make it a covenant. That means they're sworn oath. That means they're committed. They're totally committed all together. But they sworn oath. That means they made it like a contract. That means everybody's got to fill their part. See? They make a covenant against you. And it tells you that the Ishmaelites are part of that. The Sunnis, but Pharaoh got them coming into, because I told you, he's letting the demons and the Sunnis, all your enemies. He wants to bring devils into. He's bringing all the enemies into the womb. He's saying, let's bring devils into the eye. See? He's letting the demons in. He wants the Sunnis in. He's letting all your enemies in the womb. That's why it's a battle in the womb. See, and the NOI was supposed to, Elijah Muhammad's FY was supposed to protect us from all of that. But now they're in the womb and they cause all kinds of havoc. They're messing our people up, causing to be deformed. They got people deceived and everything else. See? Because they were supposed to prepare the way and have this all set up. So when Suleiman came along, right, all he had to do was finish off, right, the message of the covenant, finish, right, the process. See? Finish the process, the water breaks, take one out. It'd be a clean birth. But it wasn't that, because they let Farrakhan deceive them. They came in and then they they started their corruption, and it's a battle in the womb. So when Suleiman comes, he's got to go in, he's got to go to battle to save his people. And it says he walk alone because nobody was there to help him. Then after a while, it wasn't there. It was already corrupted. He corrupted them. Farrakhan corrupted them. And he can't find anybody that's willing to stand up and fight. They claim, but they don't. All they do is more. In fact, they cause more destruction and distraction than anything else. They slow them down. The Suleiman has a lone job of taking and saving as many as he possibly can, enlightening as many as he possibly can. He's fighting this battle alone. The battle plan. Think about this. Why do the nation rage and the people plot a vain things? They're plotting. But it's vain because Master Muhammad is too powerful. See, they plan, he's the best of players. He's too powerful. But Suleiman knows all their plans. That's why it's a vain thing, but they imagine it. Why do nations rage and the people plot a vain thing? They're plotting a vain thing. They said plotting against you. They were at war. So you got time for picnics and photo albums and everything else. When these people are at war with you, 24/7, it's a war raging in the womb right now amongst our people here in America. And the kings of earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together. I mean, like I said, they're all planning together, like we said in the previous verse, against the Lord and against his anointed. See, against his anointed, especially his elect. See, saying, let us break their bonds asunder. See, remember I said we all one nation, we all part. See, keep it broke up. Don't let them understand they're one nation. See, individualism. See, Because you don't want them to come together as unity. You don't want them to realize they're one people, they're one nation, they're one body. Let's break their bonds asunder and cast away their cords from us. Not just break, and then finally just get rid of them all together. Because they want you gone. Period. They can't take any risks. Because if they leave some of you behind, the Messiah still might rise up. They want you gone. See? And he that saith in the heavens will laugh. See, Suleiman and Master Farad Muhammad is laughing at them. The Lord will have them in derision. That's what you see in the world now. They're all confused. They think they're going to war with Russia. They go to war with China. They got the problem with Iran. All the stuff going on. They're in derision. They're confused. The whole world, America's confused. They got an old man running. They got all kinds of conflict here. You know, they one thing this, one day that, right? Defund the police, don't fund the police, right? Democrats, Republicans, homosexual, no, everything, you know, they're in derision. He says, we'll have them in derision. See? And then he will speak to them in his wrath. That's once he pulled a plug on false Israel. Then he will speak to them in his wrath. That's the day of wrath. Like it says, that's the day of vengeance. When all things be fulfilled, all consequence will be taken. See? And vex them in his, then he will speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Vex them, or they're confused. Everything they do backfires. Nothing works. See? Nothing works against us. That's the elect, the ones get out of here. You know, some of us are left behind in the incubator, but everything they try just backfires. Says no weapon formed will prevail against you. So they vex. They got all this power and everything, and nothing working. They're vexed. See? Some leave there. You can read the rest of it on your own. Like I said, we have quite a few things, and we could be all night talking. So you can read the rest of it on your own. I'm just pointing out some things that show you these things surrounding our resurrection. This thing, because that's Lazarus. Lazarus' resurrection is that new nation that will be born. All these things are surrounding that thing, you know, so you have a better understanding what to expect. But you're not getting any light from Farrakhan and Silas and all those clowns. Okay, yeah, that was it. You have to understand, brothers and sisters, we're at war. And those who are at war, understand that? They are at war. They're on the battlefield. If they're on the battlefield, they're out there in Disneyland, picnicking, everything. They don't know we're at war. Either they're liars, or they don't know we're at war. Right? Or they're demons or agents. Just trying to undermine what we're doing here. Make you think, oh man, ain't nothing happening, man. Look, he's over there partying. So make you think the same thing. So you stop understand you're at war. So you stop planning, right, for your birth, the birth of a nation. You undermine that whole thought process. There are all kinds of ways of doing it. I know all of them. I know all the tricks. Anything to undermine, right? Just like they tell you, you ain't going anywhere. But what does that mean? That means he's calling God a liar because God said we are going somewhere. They say God's not a liar, but they are calling him a liar. But it says that's what Farrakhan says, we're not going anywhere. But this says we are going, and Abraham McCullough says we are. So he called God a liar, but you don't see that because you're still in the heart zone and you're not listening to anything. Only thing you want to, you feel. Do you feel me? Do you feel me? Say less. All this bullshit. It sounds cool. It's stupid. And you're going to realize it's stupid in a minute. Some of you are really going to be really upset in a few more days when you see how stupid this stuff was. You thought it was important and you realize it wasn't nothing. It was nothing. Say less. It's supposed to be cool. Brothers and sisters, we're at war. And anything they can do to get you not to think that way, that's exactly what they want to do. Because that's one person had to worry about. Deformed. They already attacked me. Will they'll try again? I don't think so, but they might. I didn't expect. I knew there was going to be attack. I didn't know it was the strength that they came with. I had no idea it was going to be like that. Ooh. It was a rough one. I'm still recovering. They're serious. It says they're planning 24/7. Are you preparing 24/7? It says you'll be born in a time of unprecedented trouble. That means you need to prepare for that. That's why it says 144,000 and listen. And how did they come forth? Why would they come? Why would they come forth? Why would they come forth out of the womb as a great army? Think about it. Why. It's like you said, a child born, he comes out the womb, man, with a sword and a shield and everything. What the hell was that? What's that all about? Because they were prepared for the environment that they was coming forth in, a time of unprecedented trouble. They was prepared. That's why they were saved and they was delivered. And the rest weren't. So they had to flee and everything else, and many of them had ended up in an incubator to get a little more time to try to get their act together. But the abomination of desolation is just days away, maybe hours away, because there's nothing right now that I know about in Angel and in the scripture, any kind of way, that's preventing Master Prophet Muhammad, all the events that were supposed to take place between up until the time that abomination of desolation is taking place. Only thing that's holding back now is him and his idea about waiting, because some 120,000 don't know the right hand from the left, which I disagree with him about. It says right in Jonah. Well, ain't no sense in me BSing around. It says right in Jonah. I disagree with him about it. I said, let it fly. Pull that plug. That's his baby. He's the God. He's the leader. He's the God and sage. I'm just high priest. I have to keep up with him at pace so you can keep up with him. So you have to keep up with him. The abomination of desolation, both Israel's taken down. That's the cornerstone of this reality. This whole reality is going to collapse. And if you're still in it, you're going to collapse with it. I've been trying to get you to break from it. Most of you can't. That's why the wandering around the wilderness 40 years was in part for that purpose. Because some of you, even though you're the seed of Abraham, you're so locked into this reality. You've been in so long, and plus, if you've been on fire long enough, your roots are so deep in this reality, you just can't separate yourself from it. So we had to, let you die out in the wilderness. But you couldn't make it to the promised land. Your roots are too deep here, and you can't escape the gravitational vortex. Even if you see, we can open your eyes, but to what effect? To your death? You can just see your death because your eyes open, but you still can't you still can't extricate yourself from this world. You're so deep into it. You got that 30-year mortgage. You got that BMW, all this stuff. You just can't extricate yourself from this because you're so deep into it. If Farrakhan got something so deep into it, you just can't do it. Because you say, oh man. And it's, the shame of it is that you only got, if you had 20 years to go, I can see, man, but you might have 20 more days to go. But you said, no, man, I ain't dropping all this. I ain't taking that chance. So if you only knew you only had 20 days left, or you only knew you only had 30 days left, you would drop this like a hot potato. I dropped that more, I don't care my credit, nothing else. But you don't know that. So you take no chance. And so therefore, and when they say time to flee, you're not even here to flee, most of you, because how you going to flee when your legs are taken and you're knee deep in this reality, you can't even move. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So I'm going to leave it there. I think that's pretty much, I covered everything I wanted to cover here. The birth of a nation, brothers and sisters, it's going to occur. They can do everything they want to stop it. They cannot stop it. Why do the nations imagine a vain thing? Because Master Prophet Muhammad is not going to let it happen. He's our protector. And Suleiman is your guide. He's on the ground here. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.